The team leader who was at the door could hear Errol Walker saying, "You've done it now, she's going to die." So he made the very bold decision to say, "Right, fuck it, we're going to go for it."
Tony is the first officer seen here going through the window.
Our stun grenades at the time were very, very powerful. And they'd blown out all the glass in the windows in the property, and they'd blown all the light bulbs. So when I got in, there was a bit of light coming through a crack in the curtain. And I could see Errol Walker down on the settee, got the little girl, and he was holding her across him like a shield. And I could see the glint of the knife up here. And he's screaming, "She dies, she dies, she dies." And I had made the decision I was going to have to shoot him. Exactly as I fired, he stabbed this knife right down to the hilt into her neck. And I fired 2 shots at his shoulder. And what he did is he sort of winced and turned, and he exposed his temple to the light, shaft of light coming through. And I decided that he was still a threat and I needed to fire. My round actually struck the tip of his shoulder and sort of went into his brain, and his eyes rolled up into his head. And I thought, "That's it now, mate. You've done it now. You've killed a bloke." She was just completely limp. I thought she was dead. And I also thought that there was a possibility that one of my rounds might have hit her, and it might have been me that killed her. So I applied a first aid dressing to her neck. I scooped her up, and I ran for the front door of this flat, and then took her down the stairs and handed her over to the ambulance, and they took her away. I was in such a rush to get her out of the house that I still had the gun in my hand. And so there I was, standing amongst this quite volatile crowd. They're trying to get a view of the little girl, they're trying to, and I've still got a gun in my hand. And so I sort of snuck it back in my pocket. And part of me wanted to go back to the room and see what damage I'd caused, I suppose, for want of a better word. But part of me also thought, you've been advised not to do that in training. You've been advised to get away from the scene as soon as possible. You've achieved that, don't go back to the scene. So I went back to our control room, which was a flat that we'd taken over. And I went through, and the bacon was there, the bread was there. So I just thought, right, I'll start making bacon sarnies for everyone. So that's what I did. I just felt that I had to do something. It was a melting pot of emotions, really. And it wasn't until about 20 minutes later, when the lads came in, and somebody said something, and I've forgotten what it was about, and I said, "Don't worry about it, mate, he's dead," and that's the end of it. He said, "No, he's not. As soon as you left the room, his eyes popped open, and he asked us to finish him off."
Errol Walker survived his gunshot wounds and was sentenced to life in prison. The little girl he took hostage made a full recovery.